really hard to look back on it now and go, what on earth happened?
Tell the world what happens when they cross me.
I've been practical. I make one romantic decision and it bit me in the ass.
Are you talking about work or Gabrielle?
Paris. Oh.
From a Wild West prequel starring Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren to the latest season of Emily in Paris, December's shaping up to be a very varied month on the small screen. And our TV critic, Dheepthika Laurent, is here to take us through it. Hi, Deepthi.
Hi, Olivia.
Now, we're starting, of course, with the behind-the-scenes series that everyone is talking about, featuring Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. You've just finished the first episode of the second part of that series. What's your take?
Well, Netflix is clearly trying to wring every cent it can out of the public's fascination with the British royal family after The Crown. Last month, it's time for some non-fiction this month, Olivia. Harry and Meghan is this new docu-series. It's marketed really at telling their side of the story from their early beginnings to their, of course, spectacular quitting of the royal family, which is really the focus of the second part of this series, which is out now. Take a look.
There was a real kind of war against Meghan, and I've certainly seen evidence that there was negative briefing from the palace against Harry and Meghan to suit other people's agendas.
Meg became this scapegoat for the palace, and so they would feed stories on her, whether they were true or not, to avoid other less favourable stories being printed.
You would just see it play out. Like a story about someone in the family would pop up for a minute, and they go, we gotta make that go away.
So from what I've seen, the British press hasn't received this show too warmly.
No, even from the sort of left-leaning press, which is generally a little bit more balanced in its coverage. Let's show you what the UK media thought of the series. The day after the first half of the series was dropped. So these are the front pages from December 9th, Olivia. And look at these headlines here. You have Royals Don't Marry for Love. That's from Metro. It's not as good as Homes Under the Hammer. That's what The Sun said on its front page. We are not amused, the Daily Mirror. The Daily Mirror saying, stop this royal bashing, so hurtful. So you see the British press really took it very personally. They really did see it as an attack by this exiled couple who dared leave the British royal family.
It is certainly front page news in the UK. Now, having seen the show, what's new here? Did you learn anything?
Well, ultimately, you don't learn anything new about them. I did find a little bit fawning, quite one-sided. There are some sweet moments, when they talk about the early beginnings of their relationship. There's very touching archival footage of Harry and William's childhood, having to live in the constant eye of the paparazzi. And I did find that comments the couple made about racism, about royal duties, marrying for love and not duty, very pertinent. I'm not sure if this is about them taking back power or them portraying themselves as victims. In any case, they were reportedly paid up to $150 million for their deal with Netflix, so it's kind of hard to take that out of the equation when you watch it. So you probably will watch it out of curiosity, and that is certainly good for Netflix. It's also good for Harry and Meghan's deal with them.
Definitely headline news there. Well, staying in the UK, fans of the series Slough Horses will be happy to learn that there's a second series out. This is an MI5 spy drama that's been really popular. It's sort of a comedy as well, and it's out on Apple TV+.
That's right. It's a dark comedy. It's Slough Horses. It's a new take on the spy drama based on the books by Meghan. It's so good, the show. It's so fresh. It's so funny. And perhaps due to undermarketing, it kind of got lost in the gluttony of shows that is streaming television today. So it centers on Slough House, which is a kind of purgatory where disgraced MI5 agents are sent there after a monumental mistake that they've made. And Slough House is run by Jackson Lamb, who, of course, is the inimitable Gary Oldman. He's a sort of ruddy-cheeked alcoholic slob who is far sharper than he looks. The excellent season 1 focused on the kidnapping of a Muslim boy by right-wing terrorists. The second season, in quite timely fashion, centers on a Cold War era mystery about Cicada, who are these secret KGB spies who may still be embedded in British history.
Certainly sounds very newsworthy. Well, let's take a look at the second season of Slough Horses.
He left a note on his phone. Cicada. Russian sleeper agents embedded in British society. They've been reactivated. More people are gonna die.
If you uncovered the trail that quickly, it couldn't have been that well hidden.
Thanks.
I must say, the tone, the settings, it all looks very British, doesn't it?
It's so British. And the humor is, it's very self-deprecating. It's very British also to take a spy drama that's, we're used to it being very slick and serious, and its spies rather heroic, and making these protagonists so fallible, and that's what really makes the show relatable. And you know, of course, what's more British than a theme song that's sung by Mick Jagger, reportedly a fan of the books. Olivia.
Yeah, and as you said, it was very popular in its first season. So what about this second season? What do you make of it?
Well, everything I loved about the first season is still there. The same characters, Kristen Scott Thomas, Gary Oldman, and his posse of losers who are still desperately trying to claw their way back to the more legitimate MI5. You know what? The second season has this comfortable familiarity, and you know, the episodes are very compact, 45-minute episodes, 6-episode seasons, so it's very watchable, bingeable. One issue I had is it's very multi-layered, the second season, and I did have a little bit of trouble sort of keeping up with all the intrigue, but it won't stop you from watching this excellent second season.
Okay, so keeps you on your toes intellectually. Next, we're going to a very different genre. Harrison Ford back on the small screen after a year-long absence. He's headlining with Helen Mirren in this new Wild West drama from the creator of Yellowstone.
That's right. It's actually a prequel from Taylor Sheridan, who sort of created this Yellowstone universe, which Yellowstone is a fan favorite, but it hasn't been exactly critically acclaimed. So Yellowstone is a modern day Wild West drama featuring Kevin Costner as a patriarch of this American ranch, which he must defend from corrupt politicians and greedy developers, all sort of vying for their piece of his pie. 1923 is a prequel that takes place during the decade of the Great Depression, Prohibition, and a very changing global society in between two world wars. So in 1923, the prequel, Harrison Ford plays Jacob Dutton. So he's an ancestor of Kevin Costner's character from Yellowstone. Cara Dutton, his wife, is played by none other than Helen Mirren. Take a look.
This is the Yellowstone, and you have no rights here.
Jacob, you can't start a range war.
Range war's already started.
How much land do you want?
I want the whole valley.
Either we take this fight to them, or it's coming to us.
Men kill quick with a bullet or a noose, but their fight is with me, and I kill much slower.
Okay, so a powerful patriarch, politics, greed. Is this a sort of Succession set in the Wild West?
Well, you might think it is. There are certainly elements of that, Olivia. Now, the screeners have not been made available yet for this show, so we haven't actually been able to preview it because Paramount Plus has just launched in France. But the series is sure to please fans of the Yellowstone universe. And as you said, there are similar themes of family drama, corporate greed, corruption that you will find in Yellowstone as well.
And as you mentioned, Paramount Plus launching here in France. What does that mean for the streaming world?
Well, it is the latest streaming platform to hit France, and Paramount Plus is very unique in that it brings a huge back catalogue. So Paramount Plus is a fusion of Viacom and CBS when they merged in 2019. So it includes Showtime, CBS, Paramount Pictures, MTV, and Nickelodeon. So these are some massive giants of American television who they'll be able to sort of draw on this catalog of shows and films. Paramount Plus have announced a few original French series that are in the works. One is a television adapt of a French mystery writer, Maxime Chatham, and another one is a docu-series of a French rugby club. Not a lot to go by for the moment. We'll have to see if this is one platform too many, or if the back catalogue is enough to entice new subscribers.
So they've got the quantity, let's see if they've got the quality. Well, finally, this is the show that some people love and some people love to hate. Emily in Paris is back for a third season on Netflix.
I'm not sure where I fit in that. I think I'm probably more the latter. Look, Emily in Paris season 3 is still hugely popular. We saw this recently from the very glitzy Parisian launch of the third season that they had. I personally avoided the show like the plague until now. I find it vapid, gratingly tone-deaf, a very one-sided, unrealistic portrayal of Paris, where everyone is beautiful, everyone wears very impractical shoes for cobblestones in Paris, and no one's ever on strike. There's no one peeing in the streets. Don't get me started on all the product placement in the show. Anyway, Emily in Paris does offer some rare moments of self-awareness, and if you accept it as pure escapism TV, it does a job, and we do need that in the television landscape, Olivia. It is, after all, from the king of sexy rom-coms, Darren Star, who was, of course, behind Sex and the City, but also the excellent Younger. We talked about this as well, which I found a very sharp show, much sharper than Emily in Paris, because it tackled issues of ageism and gender fluidity. Season 3 catches our heroine, Lily Collins, Emily, played by Lily Collins, stuck in a love triangle. She's unsure of her future at her marketing firm, Savoir. We can't really tell you what happens in the season, but it is the perfect holiday binge.
Okay, so fun, but certainly not a behind-the-scenes documentary about life in Paris. Dheepthi, thank you very much for that roundup. We'll leave you with a sneak peek of the 3rd season of Emily in Paris. Otherwise, do check out our website and social media channels for more arts and culture here on France 24, and we'll see you next time.
This is the hardest decision I have ever had to make. This is just something that I have to do. It's Paris! Emily, no!
Are you okay, Emily?
They're just bangs! Okay, sometimes people cut bangs when everything's fine.